Hello and welcome to what I hope will be the first of an interesting selection of videos based upon the tarot and their teachings. Well, you may see, if you look closely, that there are two different kinds of cards laid out on this piece of cotton material, which is actually a pillowcase. The ones in the foreground are considerably larger, and as you will find out, they are, in terms of their symbology, somewhat different, and in many ways we could say more complicated to understand. So what we have in the foreground is actually the Thoth tarot deck, which was designed by Aleister Crowley a number of years ago. And we have above them three smaller cards. And the fact that there are three cards is actually significant, and I'll tell you why later on into the reading. This particular deck is the Robin Wood deck. It's actually more traditional, and its symbology is somewhat less complicated. So we have here our four stages, and a large part of the stages involves problems. So I'm going to turn the cards. Now, it isn't vital for people, in case they're reading, to actually have the cards face down when they're reading, even though there is a tradition that says that if you don't have the cards face down, you aren't dignifying the cards. And I know that there are some people who are as, how can we say, neurotic and superstitious, that they have to turn the cards in a certain direction, which I don't. So the first of the cards really is the first impression one has, and also the intuitive idea of the problem. As I said, this particular spread, which I've only just invented, is based around problems. So we have here the devil, the Crowleyan devil, the Thoth devil, which I will place a little closer here so you all can read it, because I know how annoying it is on such videos not to be able to see the artwork in detail. Now, you'll be forgiven for seeing what appears to be the shape of a phallus in the background of this particular card, and I haven't heard many other people saying that they see this. And well, if you look closely, that it really is the Baphomet type devil, and below him in the globes, the conspicuous globes, are people. Now, if you look at the people in this particular card, you'll see that they are in a state of disarray rather. And on the left, you'll see that there are numbers. So this card really is one of compulsions, addictions, and generally being caught in habits that one cannot break away from. So we're going a little forwards here, and we have the Nine of Discs, or the Nine of Coins, as it is called more traditionally. It's a very gloomy card, but it has a lot of energy built into it. The Nine of Discs actually, I think, is the same in both versions of the tarot cards, and it represents having an awful lot of material possessions or materialistic comfort. But in another way, it speaks of solitude. You can see that the colours are very gloomy. There's a sense of order, but there also is a sense that this is something of a cage. Think of the rich old spinster who could see the world but decides not to because she's worried about spending too much. Or so really it's somebody who's involved in their comforts, but not involved in seeing the life from a wider perspective. So we have here the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is, as I view it, the Knight of Cups in the Thoth is another one that has a sense of disorder, of taking a risk. Now, as I view this person, the Knight of Cups, now the knights in the Thoth, I believe, are to be viewed as the kings in other tarot decks, which is awfully confusing. But we have the Knight of Cups, who is going out of his way to reach this grail that's above him, and in the grail you will see the crab, which almost certainly relates to Cancer. It's the star sign Cancer, that is. So this is somebody who is, or the tendency of somebody who is going to go out on a limb to achieve what they think is right for others, and not necessarily themselves. There is an element of sacrifice, I feel. There is an angelic element to this card, as you may be able to see that the knight has wings. And the wings are patterned like steps, which I think indicates a sense of the ability to ascend, and there's an element of anxiety that this person really is damaging himself emotionally in order to help others. Sacrifice. Now we have here, in contrast to these things, we have the Knight of Cups, which is very emotional. We also have the Priestess, traditionally called the High Priestess. She is something of an all-rounder in that she has access to conventional knowledge and wisdom, and also the intuitive, we can say the magical aspects. She is one to point out that we should look at two different perspectives, two different areas. We shouldn't be solely scientific. We shouldn't be solely intuitive. You can see, if I'm going to show you here, that she is, in this particular tarot, she is behind a veil, and in front of the veil you can see a cornucopia of fruits. But there is also the sense of immediacy, that she is saying that we really shouldn't just take things on face value. We shouldn't just take the fruit, so to speak. These are the time scale and the ways in which things may improve. Again, relating to the Nine of Discs, we have a card which has some similarities, which is the Four of Cups, but reversed. So this is how we possibly are going to improve. The Four of Cups also has a sense of being satisfied, or rather seeming to have all the things that would make one satisfied, but essentially needing to look for something else. It is a card of inertia, as is the Nine of Discs. Staying still, but as this is reversed, the aspects are lessened, or even to the point where they are going to be reversed. So, we have here the Page of Wands, indications of a new business idea and new initiatives. Help, but help at the last minute. Here, interestingly, we have the Devil card again reversed. It suggests that as this is in the end of the particular spread, that given the right circumstances, that the negative tendencies, they can't be completely avoided, because the Devil does relate to things that cannot really be changed completely, but we can work around them. Let's think of somebody who's addicted to alcohol. They will always be essentially an alcoholic, but they can find ways around it. Now, in this is one of the Robin Hood's less traditional cards, in that you actually can't see the devil himself, but rather a huge treasure chest, and with two people chained to it. One is going in one direction, the other in the opposite. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but neither can reach it. If you look closely at this, you may be able to pick out images on the treasure chest itself, which also makes me think of that it relates to one's past, one's murkier, less orderable thoughts. And also this particular card has chains pointing in many directions, which indicates that maybe there may be problems that are spanning from different directions, but essentially have one cause. So I am going to end this now, and I hope that you have enjoyed this reading. It has actually been the first one I've done on camera, and I would like to ask you, if anybody wishes for me to read for them personally, to contact me via my email address, and at a later date via Skype. So I thank you for watching, and I wish you a happy, peaceful day.